my experience just as a New Yorker and a citizen is that people often feel that it doesn't matter, that it doesn't matter whether they vote or not. And then when you layer on top of that the fact that just logistically and in a very, looking at it from a very mechanical point of view and logistical point of view, it's not easy to vote sometimes. If you're working, you may have to get time off. You may not, have a kind of a rapport with your boss that enables you to do that. There are a lot of barriers. Some of them are falling by the wayside. There's a lot more openness to and flexibility around mail-in voting, at least in our state, so far. That's not uniform across the country, of course. But there still are some barriers to voting, and there are various reform efforts that are trying to eliminate some of those mechanical barriers. But of course, even if you eliminate those and people still have this sense that it doesn't matter, that's sort of at the core of the problem. And that's where we have a lot of work to do, quite honestly.
Yeah, and I would just add to the technical pieces of it. We don't make it really easy to vote for all the reasons that Pat said, but also just there are other municipalities, other states that really you can do same day voting. You can, and it's obviously it's checked after, right, as they're counting it. But there are opportunities. There are.
You should explain what same day voting is, Marissa.
Sorry. So if you are not registered to vote, you can go in to a poll site and you can vote and fill out your registration right there. And then they check it on the back end as they're counting your vote to make sure that you are, in fact, live at that residence and so forth, and fulfill all of the requirements to be a voter. But we have deadlines, that are not widely shared, and that folks it's really up to the individual to know, okay, there's a primary coming. So that means I need to register to vote 45 days before. I think we also have that you have to, for primaries, you must be registered in a party. There's a lot of places that's not required. And so if somebody doesn't want their name tied to a party, which makes sense because these political parties send you countless letters and emails and all of that, then that means you're taken out of the equation for primaries. And in our state, especially in New York City, primary elections very often dictate who the next person is going to be. And so we actually, because of our systems, are discounting a lot of people from even participating in the process, even if they wanted to.